I guess we've all thought about it. What if our life would have taken a totally different path? A different job, a different partner, maybe even a totally different version of you. Well, the Ultras provides just that. It doesn't just explore the idea, it actually locks you in a pressure cooker with it and cranks up the heat. So today we're talking about the game The Alters and all the things that makes this game stand out. Let's first talk about what makes this game so special. And that is that you are cloning yourself to survive. This game concept is really cool. You play as Jan Dolsky, who is stuck on a hostile alien planet inside a massive mobile base called The Wheel. The sun is lethal and constantly chasing you. Your only way to manage the systems and to survive is by creating alters. And these people are alternate versions of Jan himself. And here things become really interesting because you're not just cloning an extra hand, you're actually choosing a version of you. Someone who could have gone into medicine or stayed with a partner or became an artist. And each alter comes with its skills and its own distinct personality. And all these clones of yourself come with their own unique drama. Some of them are openly resentful, and they all have that annoying knack that they are clashing with each other all the time. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's so interesting to see how all these lines, how these stories unfold. And this particular part of the game also brings us to the gameplay core, and that's the loop of survival and emotional management. So how do you actually play the alters? Well, it's kind of a mix of base building, task assignment, and walking the emotional tightrope of managing your crew. You're constantly having to stop to scavenge for resources, upgrade rooms, or having to create a new altar. But you've got a clock ticking because the rising sun behind you will literally cook your entire operation if you linger too long. And when you're inside the base, you assign alters to different roles. You have Jan the cook, who handles the kitchen, Jan the mechanic, who repairs the system, but each of them has their own morale, mental health, and personal needs you can't just ignore. And the survival of people and their moods is a mechanic I haven't come across in any other games before. You are busy scheduling therapy sessions, team meals, downtime activities like chess or reading. And all this sounds really chill, but it's a balancing act. If one alter is left out, they start losing morale. That means slower work, more conflict, and maybe even refusal to do some critical tasks. And this mechanic runs throughout the game. There are social trees, there are friendship levels, there are even private quarters you can upgrade to improve their moods. So it's not just base building, it's really like you're managing people and keeping them happy on a deeply personal level. All of this makes the game feel alive. You're trying to keep a team of emotionally complex versions of yourself from falling apart, and you always have that pressure of trying to outrun the sun. So for me, that is the most important feature of this game. And it is this thing that makes this game stand out. Because the emotional systems have real consequences. It's a feature that we've come to know from the previous games like Frostpunk. As in Frostpunk, the decisions you make, or in this case the dialogues with your alters, aren't just for flavor, they're loaded with weight. Each alter remembers what could have been. Jan the father talks about his kid. Jan the musician mourns the creative freedom he lost. You're basically feeding your own life choices, and that makes this game so deep and so special. And the best part of all this is that nothing feels forced. The writing is grounded. It sounds mature and is often very quiet. There are no huge exposition dumps, just moments that hit because they feel real. And all of this also matters in the gameplay. If the morale drops too low, alters can snap, some shut down and refuse to help out, others might storm off. So if you neglect their needs long enough, you might even lose them entirely. And because there's so many choices you can make, so many paths you can take, the ending you get and the story that unfolds changes based upon your relationship with your alters. So if you would replay with a different group, making different choices, selecting different team members, the game will feel totally different. So that's a really cool thing. It really adds to the replayability of this game. And let's talk a bit about the presentation. So you have the visuals, the sound and the design. The visual style is slick without being too stylish. It's a grounded sci-fi that feels dirty and real. I really love the 2D view of the wheel, which looked to me like your own little ant farm. And outside, the alien environment is minimalist but striking. It all feels empty, but the threat of that glowing sun adds to the constant tension. You're always in a hurry to get things done. And the sound design, it actually manages to nail the mood perfectly. Machines are humming, you hear footsteps, echoes, voices carry weight, and Jan's internal monologue is low-key but expressive. Not overacted, but to me it felt done just right. But there are also a couple of things I didn't like too much about this game. That's especially the pacing, which drags on during mid-game. In the beginning of the game, you're busy learning all the features of the game and creating new alters to see where they fit best. But once you have established a decent team and you have your basic system set up, the gameplay loop can get repetitive. Check systems, manage needs, and move to the next zone and repeat. And I agree with some reviews I read where people said this is the chore phase, a point where you're mostly maintaining instead of progressing. It doesn't last forever, but it might lose momentum for folks looking for faster pacing or constant story beats. And if you're not into relationship management or reading into small conversations, it could start to feel like management sim without the payoff. So my final thoughts. What do I think about this game? Should you play it? Well, if you're looking for something bold, original and surprisingly emotional, then yes, go for it. The Alters isn't just different, it's committed. Every part of the game is tied to this concept of self-reflection and identity. And for me, it really pulled that off. It's not an action-packed sci-fi game. It's a thoughtful, sometimes sad and sometimes hopeful experience that asks you to sit with your past and wonder how much of it you're still carrying. And I feel for people who have played Disco Elysium, Frostpunk or even Outer Wilds, this one's 100% worth your time because this is a game that will leave you thinking. So that's my review about the Alters, a survival sim where the real survival isn't about enemies or hunger bars, it's about facing yourself and dealing with yourself. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this concept? Do you think it's fresh and renewing, or is it just too weird for your taste? And hey, if you like this review and want more games that try something new instead of recycling the same old stuff, then please consider giving this video a like. And if you want to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you all for watching and catch you in the next one.